Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We are Beyond the Horror Cult episode 2. And it's so nice to have you guys here. And I would like to welcome our guests. First one is Casey.
Hi.
The second one is Maisie.
Hello.
And as you know by now, guys, we are the admins for the Cult of AHS on Facebook. Please come join us there on Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff if you would like to. Don't forget to like the stream, thumb it up, click the subscribe for more notification, or click the subscribe for more, click the bell for notifications, and let's talk about this episode. It was, I think we can all agree that it was much better than last week's.
No hating on last week's episode, though.
Absolutely no hating on last week's episode. Absolutely not. But this one did have Billy Lord and Sarah Paulson practically making out. I mean, I have to say that this episode really topped me. Yeah.
Didn't she finger her?
Was that really what she did? Okay, I wasn't sure.
I was pretty certain. They didn't quite make it clear, but that's what I thought that was what they were insinuating.
Everyone's going to think I'm a perv if I say that.
Well, it's not like they're going to take the camera and actually go down in the water to show you or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I got from it.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, that was just Mr. Marshmallow says, spoiler, OMG, she killed Kenny. No, she killed Pedro. So, okay, let's talk about this episode. And we can't stray because this what I've been doing this time is I've been writing down what's been happening through the episode because I got to tape my reviews right after, obviously. So, all right, let's do a review. So Allie wakes to a clown. He's in the bed right beside her. I mean, first open, bam. She runs downstairs to her wife, and instead of calling the cops, Ivy does what a lot of people do, and she just grabs a knife just to go up there and just chop that motherfucker's balls right off. So,
oh, yes.
I just think that that's awesome that she did that. But they had to go up there and protect Ozzy because he was upstairs. So there was nothing up there. Allie thinks that maybe there's something wrong with her. And so while they're kind of making out in desperation, the clowns are tormenting Ozzy. And we actually get twisty. I mean, it may have been for only 2 minutes this episode. But, I mean, that was great that once again we got twisty again.
I'm thinking that maybe every episode they'll give us a little tiny taste of him.
Exactly. I'm hoping so, too. So all of a sudden, Oz is in the bathroom. The clowns are coming at him. Excuse me. And then all of a sudden, he's back in his bed. And then there's his 2 moms right beside him. So it seems, I guess, he was having night terrors. So it makes it seem like that, yeah, he is absolutely not actually seeing the clowns. What's up, Christopher, Izaldi? It's nice to have you. Miss Marie, Got Muggled, Thiago, Philip, Scott. Scott wants to know if I'm wearing a Wizard of Oz shirt on purpose. No, it's just, it's a little chilly down here, and this is my favorite sweater, and I actually bought this from the MGM Grand. It's like a $200 sweater. So I've had it for like 20 years, and I'm going to wear it a lot because of how expensive it was. My parents paid a lot of money for it. It's my favorite sweater. It's my favorite movie in the entire world. So, yeah. So that was a nice little opening. Then we get the opening sequences. So then when the show starts again, we get it basically 1 week later from Kai having the crap beaten out of him. And he's running for city council, I guess it is, guys. Is that what that is?
Yes. He's running for the council because there was a mysterious, tragic death of, like, the main Asian council member.
Chang.
Yes.
Chang.
I have to say, J.C. Nash, I completely agree with J.C. Nash's comment. Favorite quote in this episode is, lesbians were under attack. I love how it just calls them lesbians. Hey there, lesbians, we're under attack. That was hilarious.
I
So I'm
can't
sorry,
wait for them to find out that they're actually Trump supporters. Or my guess is going to be that Allie is going to run for, council or whatever, and they are probably going to want to vote for Kai.
I don't think Allie's going to be running for anything after the end of this episode. I think her
Maybe-
ass is going to be in jail.
Adam.
They made it look like she does in the trailers that she runs against Kai so he doesn't get on the council. But I don't know. Guess we'll have to see.
Miss Marie says, cry me a fucking river. He got beat up. You guys are hilarious. So anyway.
You mean pee?
I'm sorry?
Because he peed in the condom.
Yeah, I did.
Peed.
I'm saying Miss Marie said that. She says, cry me a fucking river. He got beat up. It's just, that's hilarious. It makes me think of Justin Timberlake. Cry me a river. Sorry, I'm just
Mary, I wish the show was on earlier because I feel like you get a little out of it at night,
a
maybe.
little too tickled at night. Yeah, I do. Well,
Yeah.
and plus today I had to do my
Just a little bit frisky.
I had to do my house tour videos, and I've literally been up since 5:30 in the morning. So yeah, it's like 10:30 or it's like 10:15 now. So absolutely,
After 10, everything gets a little blurry for Mary.
Absolutely, especially if I've been up since 5:30. So the new neighbors are moving into the neighborhood. Allie goes to meet them, but instead their windows were kind of open, so she starts peeping in the windows. So the neighbor catches her, and instead of just stopping to say, hey, I was just coming by to say hi, instead just Allie just straight up takes off and runs away. That was hilarious. I loved that part where she just took off. So then after,
If you had new neighbors, would you do that?
no.
I'm gonna
Right.
start doing.
No, I go and I ring their doorbell
I'm
and
gonna-
knock on their door a couple of days after they've moved in to make sure that they're settled. And then I just say, hey, I live next door. What's up? I'm Mary. Yeah, no, I don't just go look in their
Subscribe to
windows.
me on YouTube, please.
Actually, my neighbor is so awesome. My neighbor, Cullen, he does follow me on YouTube and he watches the show and he watches Beyond the Horror. We've actually talked about that maybe he should come join me one episode.
Does he watch American Horror Story?
Oh my God, yes. He
Okay.
loves the show.
Can you
Absolutely.
imagine if we just watched the show, like Beyond the Horror, and then didn't watch American Horror Story? And then we'd be talking about something, and we'd be like, I know she's my neighbor, but she a little crazy.
Right. Just a little crazy. Yeah, and thank you all so much for 5,000 subscribers. You all have made that happen, not me, and you were all amazing. Thank you so much. So Winter confronts Oz about the murder. We see that it really did happen. So last week with the Wangs or, whatever the hell their name was. Changs. Okay. We get that they really were murdered by the clowns and they did see it. So she does her thing with her pinky with him and they go pinky to
Love that.
Yeah, and she does her thing. And once again, I got chills. Did you guys get chills?
No.
Ugh, I got chills.
Some part of me feels like the pinky thing may have something to do, possibly maybe with possession.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It seems like it's pointing somewhere in that direction, just because of how later on in the episode he wanted to continue doing it.
Right. And she was so pro-Hillary and anti-Trump. I mean, she even said it. I took a year off from Vassar to campaign to help. And Trump still ended up winning. What am I going to do if I get pregnant and I need an abortion? I mean, she made so many statements that showed that she definitely was not a Trump supporter. So we have
And like when Evan came in her room covered in Cheeto dust,
and then
she
took her
was just
pinky.
like, "Are you here to gloat?"
He took her pinky first, remember?
Oh no, I meant how it shows that she's a Hillary supporter because Evan goes in dressed as Trump and she says, "Are you here to gloat?"
Right. Right.
Yeah. Anyways.
And I think that when they took pinkies that time, Casey, maybe you're right. Maybe he possessed her. Because when she did her thing with Ozzy in this episode, it seemed so similar. So it seemed like maybe she was kind of, that Kai was also kind of possessing Oz now, in essence. Does that make sense?
And we got to remember, though, this isn't the first time Kai's possessed Winter. It seemed like they've done that quite a few times.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I honestly think the possession thing must have at least a little bit to do with it, because why would she continue to do it, you know?
Yeah. True.
Anyways.
Okay, so they do their pinky thing, and then Oz is, next thing you know, Oz is next door. Allie and Ivy freak out. And then they go over and they actually finally meet them, and you see that Harrison is a bee cultivator, and Allie has a little panic attack because she sees his honeycombs. That's funny.
I'm finally glad that they've incorporated the honeycomb.
Yeah, finally. Exactly. And what do you guys think too about the neighbors being so honest? Because they said, look, we know there was a major murder, but we hit bankruptcy, we had no money, and we wanted to buy a house. And I'm gay, she's not. You know, we were besties from high school, and we said that if by the age of 35, if we weren't married, we'd marry each other. What did you think about their brutal honesty with each other?
I've got a theory.
Okay. What's your theory, Casey? Let's hear it.
I think that their thing is completely made up, and that they are members of the cult, and they killed them so they would be able to buy the house, so they could get closer to Allie, and possibly maybe Ivy and Ozzy.
Now, he was the one, okay, Harrison was the one to come and tell her it was a terrorist attack that had happened. So, I mean, you probably do have something there. For me, it didn't kind of feel like they were necessarily in the cult. It just seemed like there was something weird about them. Like maybe they were in witness protection or something, and therefore they come off as weird because they're supposed to kind of, you know, their past is basically a script that they've got to remember. So it kind of makes me think that when they're kind of just upfront and just blabbing about their past, it just really makes me think that they were, you know, reciting something from a script. So like I said, I don't know if they're in on the cult. It does seem logical that they would be, but my first impression is that they're hiding something, but it's not the cult. I could be totally wrong.
I got that exact same script vibe like you did. However, I put that more towards they've practiced this, you know, like
because they're in the cult, like they're trying to hide the fact that they're not normal.
Yeah, they're just like, where were you born? Da da da. What state did you go to? Da da da. What's your name? Da da da. What college did you go to? Da da da.
And
like, so they would be able to tell them in case they had any questions.
They recorded Kai beating Kai's beating. So yeah, I guess I forgot about that. They were the couple that recorded Kai being beaten, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maisie,
yeah, that's true.
Remember. I think they were. And it's just so weird that they happened to move across the street, to Allie and Ivy. So you probably are very much onto something there with that, Casey, about with them being part of the cult. Like I said, I know that it feels logical. It probably should be. Just that scripted thing kind of got to me. But you're right. I mean, they probably could be learning. You know, they could just probably be bad actors. And, you know, they're two people who are in the cult and they're, you know, pretending to be husband and wife. And maybe that's like a nice backstory to kind of cover why they're not intimate and why they're so off, you know?
Mm-hmm. And another thing that could add on to that is she mentioned something about how she lets him go away, something. Maybe that could help with their reasoning, like, he's on a trip. Well, actually, no, he's dressed up as a clown and he's trying to kill y'all.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. That's just a thought.
That's a good point. Okay.
Anyways, the episode.
So let's see. Let's see. So the wife has a thing about the sun. I know she says she had skin cancer, but she really talks about the sun like there's no tomorrow. So I know some people were making comments about if she may be a vampire, but we're not supposed to get supernatural elements. So maybe I'll just say she's a stickler for the sun because of her cancer. So, okay, again, guys, Harrison is gay and Meadow is his wife and his bestie. And they had this thing, Harrison and Meadow, where if they turned 35 and they hadn't married anybody yet, they were going to marry each other and have a kid, which I guess they didn't. Maybe I'm just wrong on the kid part. Yeah. So the blood, though, from the Changs are still on the floor and on the walls when Allie and Ivy go over there. And that is so eerie. I mean, even on the hardwood floors, the red stain is still there, you know? Sierra made a good note. Maybe that could be why she joined the cult. Her fear is the sun. That's really great, Sierra. I love that.
And you know, right as I finished talking about that, or like just a couple minutes ago, I had another thought, but I don't want to interrupt you. What if the sun thing has something to do with the fact that, to my knowledge, that I can think about right this second, the only time the clowns have came out is at night.
Okay.
So could that possibly have something to do with the fact that she doesn't, I don't know, something, the sun? Because if the clowns aren't coming out in the daytime, I don't know. Because I can't think of any time we've seen the clowns in the daytime.
That's true. That's a good point. Okay, guys, before we move on to the next half of the description, I just want to remind you guys we're back tomorrow for American Horror Story Weekly Wednesday live streams at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. I know I didn't do them last week. I just felt like crap. So, but they're definitely going to be here tomorrow for you guys. Don't forget to come join the cult. Is it Casey? Is it the cult members of AHS or is it the cult of AHS?
It was cult members, but we changed it to the cult of AHS for simplicity.
Perfect. The Cult of AHS. That is our group on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. If you want to follow me on social media, all of it is MaryGirl Moody, Facebook, all that stuff. And yeah, don't forget, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons very quickly. And it is because of them that I am actually able to do these streams. Patreon is a monthly, Patreon is a subscription service where they donate to my channel. It pays for the prizes that we give out, and it pays to make sure that the channel keeps going. So thank you to Demi Farr, Alicia George, Dawn Ford, John Canoni, Ethan Furness, Debbie Bobebi, Eddie Bannigan, Anthony Wyatt, Lisa Lee, Nick Bow, Sharon Wybe, Melly Larson, and Madison Luke. You guys are amazeballs, and the link to the Patreon is in the description. And every donation earns you a great reward. Even $1 earns you live streams and videos and stuff way before anybody else gets them. And yeah, so again, it all helps to pay for the prizes. I'm sorry, Casey?
Yeah, sorry. Can I just say, like, it's just like Netflix, except the prices start at $1 per month. And all the content is Mary content, and we know you guys love that.
That's right, exactly. It's like Mary Flex. And I have merchandise also coming out soon too, Mother Supreme gear. So we'll be ready.
It is a work in progress, y'all. We hear you.
And don't forget to like and subscribe and click the notification bell, all that stuff, to all of the 2 people that are probably watching it. So, okay.
I swear, every single video, every single live stream, the number one question is merchandise.
Right, exactly. It's coming, I promise.
It's like, come on, guys.
Okay, so the alarm goes off at the restaurant. So Ivy says she'll leave and go check it, but Allie offers to go instead. So when Allie arrives at the restaurant, the alarm is going off, and in the meat, in the meat freezer where all of the big chunks of meat are hanging, is one of the managers dead, hung on a meat hook. Now, a little scene that we got earlier was this manager, his name is Roger, I believe, if I remember correctly. He made a racist remark to one of the workers in the kitchen of the butchery on Main. It was a racist comment because Pedro is Hispanic. So the manager is now been murdered. So Allie is talking to the cops, who is Billy Eichner. Her and Ivy are talking to Billy. It's so awesome. And Pedro was a suspect because he was the one who threatened Roger. So we get to see Billy as the police officer. And so Allie decides, she's so paranoid at this point that she gets metal bars and puts them on her windows at home. And Cheyenne Jackson stops by. Remember, that's her shrink, to talk to her because Ivy basically called him to say, look, I want you to come talk to Allie and check her out for me. So he comes by. She, talks to him. This happened a week after the restaurant, and she kind of fills us in on the gaps with him. The neighbors gave her a gun. Oh my God, dude, seriously. The neighbors, they're safe of guns. That was hilarious. That was like my dad.
That was like Mary.
No, I am not like that. I mean, I have something to protect myself, but I mean, maybe I would buy the shotgun that Bruce Campbell used in The Evil Dead, but I wouldn't care about the pistol that Nicole Kidman used, in like Born on the 4th of July or something like that. But anyway, I mean, they were hardcore, had some really great guns in their storage, even had an AK, which was a good day. If you guys know Ice Cube. So anyway, my bad. Let's move on. So the new neighbors are the ones who gave her the gun. And again, that was just hilarious. So Kai is running for city council. And he is campaigning at Allie's house. And this is after the bars are already on the windows and the doors. And that's why he's talking to her through a barred door in the previews. And at first, he's really sweet to her. But she recognizes him as the asshole who threw the latte at her and Ivy. And so he tries to apologize, and she's not ready to take it, obviously. But he kind of turns into like a crazed man trying to get into her house. Like, I need to use the restroom. My car broke down. Can I use your phone? I mean, it's very obvious that he's lying in order to gain entry into her home. And so she shuts the door on him. Okay, so later, Winter convinces Allie to take a bath, and then she seduces her. Yeah, that was so hot. Anyway, the lights all of a sudden go out. And Harrison stops by and tells Allie that it's a terrorist attack. And that's funny. That's when he says, lesbians, we're under attack. So Winter leaves the house to go get her things so that because he says there's rioting. Power has gone out in like 8 to 9 states. It's a terrorist attack. So Allie calls Ivy. Allie's freaking out. Her phone dies right as she's talking to Ivy. So
Which I thought was hilarious. You'd think after all this, she'd charge her phone.
Exactly, right? Keep it. I even have my phone right here on the charger. So come on. Seriously.
Like, come on, guys. It's 2017. We're better than this. Keep her phones charged.
It's almost 2018. So yeah, we can be much better than this. So Ivy sends Pedro from the restaurant to the house with a new charger and a couple of supplies for Allie and Oz. Okay, so the ice cream truck pulls up in front of Allie's house, and she's kind of freaking out.
And can I just say real quickly,
Yeah.
I love the ice cream truck. It's so simple and so just, I don't know. It's just so, I forgot. I had the word in my head and then I forgot.
It's the melody, like the simple little jingle that comes out of the truck when it drives is just so eerie now when you see this show, because it's just a simple little jingle, a simple little ice cream truck, and this horrible traumatizing terror steps out of it,
Yes, it's just, I love the simplicity of it. And I feel like it's going to be one of the iconic American Horror Story things from now on. Just like Twisty and Rubberman and that type of thing. And the Countess's glove, because I think now
Absolutely.
they're putting this in our head by the time the finale comes, every single time we see that ice cream truck, we're going to go, yep, we know who's here. The cult, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And maybe that shows us that in the future, possibly the cult could come back.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how they end it. If they would actually bring the cult back.
I'm just a little confused at this point, though, because one, they haven't said a cult at all, and two, they haven't shown Evan and the cult together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just, thinking like
It'll probably start locking together mid-season is probably what I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the end of the episode, guys, after the ice cream truck shows up, and Allie goes to check her electricity box, and she sees that somebody has actually cut her electricity, and then one of the clowns show up. So she goes upstairs and grabs Ozzy and her gun, and she goes downstairs, and that's when she hears something outside, and she tells them, I'm going to open this door, and whatever happens, don't let go of my hand. And so she literally just opens the door and shoots. What if that were freaking Ivy? I mean, but she just opens the door and shoots, and she shoots Pedro, unfortunately, and kills him.
Okay, hear me out. Obviously, she was a little quick on that trigger. However, imagine this. You're ready to run, and without looking, someone's just there. And keep in mind, Allie's already this insane in the head, and all these bad things going through her head and everything. I think she's so freaked out in this moment that, nothing's going through her head except get there. And as soon as she sees something, without hesitation, without knowing at all what it could be, anything, she just shoots. And I think it kind of makes sense because, I don't know, we already know she's crazy, so.
She's just so on the edge with fear. Even her psychiatrist said that she was on the brink of agoraphobia, which is where she can't leave her house because she's so afraid. I'm
thinking that he may be the person who got the wires.
I'm thinking that he did that recon to find out what she's done, because I bet you Ivy suspects that she has a gun. And that's why she sent over Pedro, because she knew Allie has a gun now. So, I mean, like I said, the information that we're getting is only what the show wants us to see. So there could have been a scene between the psychiatrist, Cheyenne Jackson, meeting up with Ivy later on in a coffee shop, and that we just don't know about. So, yeah.
I'm definitely thinking we're going to get some flashbacks soon.
Hopefully. I mean, we're getting 11 episodes this season, so obviously we're going to flash back sooner or later, especially from where I believe Ivy has joined the cult.
Honestly, at this point, I'm thinking that maybe Ivy's not part of the cult.
What makes you think she's not, Casey?
I think it's just because their relationship seems real to me. And I know that's all part of the acting and stuff, like fake you out. But in terms of when having a fake relationship and she is part of the cult, their relationship seems more than just, I don't know, Ivy faking it. They actually seem like they love each other. And you could just attribute that to good acting. But I don't know. I actually see something there between them that's more than just pretend, I guess.
Okay. Well, I guess I kind of feel what you feel, that maybe their relationship is solid, but I don't know, for something because I've been with Blake for 16 years. 16 years I've been with someone. You can kind of tell in other relationships, some of the cracks in them. And the fact that we get from them that they're not having sex, and that Allie totally let Winter finger in the bathtub. Finger bang over here. That's what we should call Winter from now on. We should call Winter finger bang. But
what about her anal? You're leaving out a whole third of her sex life.
Didn't me too? I'm sorry. Casey, you just jumped right about that. What about her anal?
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what she has to tell us either.
I don't think that Winter would ever date Sarah Paulson or Allie or whatever because she couldn't give her that anal Logan or whatever his name was did. Maybe his name was Stevie or something. I can't remember.
Yes, true. But if you're going to let somebody do that to you in a bathtub and you're happily married, there's something wrong with your relationship. And the fact that she's going to let finger bang Winter, finger bang her in the tub. Dude, no. Well, I mean, okay. I guess it is a little weird because she's a chick. I mean, if it were a guy who wanted to do that for her, run her a bath and rub her back, obviously she'd say no. So the fact that it's a chick, I mean, I guess in essence, for other people, that would be equivalent like to having a guy in the bathroom. So still, she never said no to Winter ever at all. I mean, my goodness. My goodness. Winter only cares about her laptop and her ceramics. And
oh God, I love that.
Something tells me that Winter is going to be seducing Allie again. Absolutely.
Maybe she could be our sexy scaffage of the season.
Hey, she could be, except she's taken a shower and brushed her teeth. So
that's a good point.
She's definitely sexy, and I'm sure she shaves her pits and uses deodorant. Maisie, I mean, what do you think? You think she does that too?
I mean, hey.
Probably.
Looked like she did. So, guys, do you remember when I'm so sorry, Casey, I mean to catch off real quick. Do you remember when Billie Lourd was wearing in one of her Instagram photos, she was with Colton Haynes? And she was like topless almost, wearing a tank top and a bra underneath it. I wonder if that was from that scene or something different, because they looked like they were both in yellow jumpsuits. So I don't know.
I think it's from another scene.
Okay, I think maybe they'll go to jail at one point, but
I'm hoping Colton Haynes' character is a slow burn, because they're not giving us anything.
Yeah, right.
He's at all but 4 lines.
Maisie, what do you think? What do you think has been your favorite so far of this season?
Hey, lesbians, we're under attack.
Hey, you over there, lesbians. Oh my God, that is hilarious. The fact that he would even describe someone like that. I mean, if their neighbors were guys and they were homosexuals, I mean, what would he do? Go over there and go, hey, gay guys, we're under attack.
Like, who just does that? Gives them 2 candles.
Oh, well,
didn't they offer to let them in their house?
They were made from beeswax, so that shit's gonna last you like a week. Trust me. In Florida, we had beeswax candles because they would last for days.
Okay,
so.
But he didn't like offer to be like, hey, you can come over to our house. He didn't do any of that. He just gave her the candles and ran.
I know, and she's like, no, please don't leave me, and he still left her.
Maybe that's because he had to dress up in his clown costume. I just cannot believe that Allie took that long to get to Ozzy.
Right?
You mean in the beginning when she had the knife and stuff?
No, I mean at the end. Like, think about it. Instead of going to make sure her son was okay, she locked the doors and locked the windows and put chairs there and checked the power. And I'm like, come on, girl. Priorities.
That's the first thing a mother does, is she goes and checks on her kids, and then she checks the doors.
Exactly. And you know what she did last? Checked her kid.
You know what she was doing? Because she locked all the doors, puts a chair in front of the door. Like, She took her sweet time before she checked on her kid.
And if I remember correctly, she went and grabbed a gun. She stood outside the staircase. She stood there.
And let me add this. What the fuck was I gonna add? Well, there was one part where she ran up the stairs and homegirl managed to push one of the clowns aside and knock her over the stair rail.
That was awesome.
Allie got some good marks from me for that. She kicked ass on that.
No, but it was so weird because I think it showed you where her priorities lied. Like, look at that scene, rewatch it or whatever you need to do. She didn't go upstairs to get Ollie, or no, what's his name? Ozzy. She didn't go upstairs to get Ozzy. She went upstairs to grab a gun for herself.
Maybe that's why Ozzy likes Ivy more.
I think it also may have something to do with Winter. I still think Winter is a witch, and I think she has some sort of mind control power.
I think she's possessed by Kai.
So do I.
I'm still on the page of witch, and that her power is like an aura of mind control. Because think about it. She was able, look at all the convincing she's done. She convinced Ozzy to go watch people get murdered and watch people get murdered on her laptop. And then she convinced Allie and Ivy that Ozzy was lying. And then she convinced Allie to let her finger her. And then, I can keep going. I'm just thinking of everything they've she's convinced them of. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm still getting that vibe.
Yeah.
And she said Hillary was supposed to win. And that makes me think the witches in this time have been planning to use their powers to make sure Hillary won. That's what I got from that. Not we've been really working on it. I mean, I was thinking maybe the witches were sending them places to make sure that the state got,
I mean,
blue.
Technically, what she meant by Hillary was supposed to win. Hillary was supposed to win. She got the popular vote. Trump got the electoral vote.
Right.
But I don't think we found out that Hillary got the actual final popular vote, 4 million or something more than Trump, until a couple weeks later.
No, we got that the next day. Everyone was angry.
Well, even then, that wasn't the next day. That was that night.
So, I mean...
and that was before Trump was even confirmed to be the president. That was just when he was assumed to be the president-elect.
You saw that night of the election that Hillary was getting most of the votes.
Okay, all I'm trying to say here is I think she's a witch, okay?
Right, but I think what Maisie's trying to say is that there's an explanation, though, for one of the reasons of why you think she's a witch. And I do get that because a lot of people did peg Hillary to win. Trump did not have the ratings and he did not have the approval, especially once he stood up on stage and opened his mouth. Yeah, really, really ruined it for him. So
I really love that clip of Hillary saying, you can't just go on stage and say whatever comes out of your mouth and expect to be president or something.
Yeah, because it's true. You really can't.
Well, plot twist he is.
BRT just made a really great point. BRT says, Ryan said no supernatural, but how is Twisty here? And so, okay, the first time we saw Twisty last week, it was in a comic book. So
This week he was in a dream.
Right. Okay. So, but what if it really? We don't know if it really was a dream, though, or not. At this point, we don't.
It was.
It has to be.
I guess it makes more sense possibly that it isn't a dream.
I mean, I guess it's possible, but so far, there's only that one incident to explain for Twisty. A couple of comments in here say that perhaps it's somebody dressing up as Twisty, and that's very true. It certainly could be. But however, I believe that we saw, I don't know if Twisty pulled the mask down on
Not on Ozzy, no.
Not on Ozzy? Okay. I know he did it in last week's episode, but I don't remember if he did this week. So
Wrong number.
we know John Canoni. John says that if there's no supernatural elements, that means there's no witches either. But possession is a supernatural element. So I think that there's some form of supernatural element to this season. So
maybe what Ryan meant by supernatural was ghost.
No, witches, vampires, werewolves, all that stuff is kind of like in the lore of supernatural.
I understand that. However, the past 2 seasons have heavily been fueled off ghost, and if you die here, you stay here as a ghost and all that. And I feel like maybe what he meant by that was we're off ghost for a season.
Okay. That would be awesome.
I guess I'm interpreting stuff different than you guys. So
a great way to throw us off so we wouldn't expect her to be a witch.
I'm really hoping she is, because I want a nice coven tie-in, but
yeah. And I don't know if anybody noticed, but Harrison, who is the new neighbor and the beekeeper, he talked about how the single members are subservient to one. It's just really a great psychological aspect of a cult. So that was a really great scene, I thought, this week.
I think this season is going to be very rewatchable just because of how much stuff I think is probably going under our noses.
Mm-hmm.
And that when we finally know how it ends, we'll go back and go, oh, I never noticed that. Or, oh, it's so obvious now. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, let me say 2 things very quickly. Can't Shake You Mel asks, can we talk about the smiley face on the door, which we'll move right into that. And then Thiago, which I hope I'm enunciating your name correctly, says, what if all of the episode, everything that's going on is part of a twisty comic? So I thought that was a pretty badass thought.
I really hope not, honestly, because I think as badass as that is, I think that sounds more like a cop-out to me.
Okay. Yeah, it would be a pretty cool twist, but I do agree it would be kind of a cop-out if the last episode ended when it folded over and it just ended, from the comic.
Because that's what I'd call a waste of a season, because that means it doesn't add anything to our myth, or the mythology and lore of American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Basically,
People can complain about Roanoke all they want, but it added a lot to the lore. And if this season ends like that, it wouldn't really be changing or adding anything. And that's what I love about the fact that it's all together.
I want to say very quickly, where is it? And then we're going to talk about the smiley face on the door, and then we're going to start wrapping up the stream. Okay, so Jennifer Ariana says, do y'all mean hypnotize? Well, she's got to be from Texas because she says yow. That's what we say. We say yow. So she asks, do y'all mean hypnotized when y'all say possessed? If not, what do y'all mean by possessed? Hypnotized would be a very fantastic word to use. And that is probably more likely.
Control, maybe?
Yeah. I think that's probably one of the better things. So what do you guys think about the smiley face on the door?
I don't know what it could be insinuating, unless next week's episode is about Nirvana. I've got no ideas.
Why would it be about Nirvana?
They've been so
because their band logo is a little smiley face with tongue out.
That's right. Well, I mean, I think that, yeah, that's right. So, that's true. So, okay, but there's also such a thing as the smiley face killer. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw that movie Smiley.
Hey, it could be about that too.
That was about a smiley killer.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, it seems like Ryan is kind of taking the extreme with the smiley. As far as right now, I don't know what that could mean. Maybe that smiley face represents their cult, Like the way that,
Ooh, I would love if that's the symbol.
that's their symbol. Yeah, that would be awesome if that was their symbol.
I mean, clearly
Ooh, and maybe it's like
Mark
one of
that
the
they
and
did.
maybe the smiley face is inside the hexagon, and it's like the honeycomb. I don't know.
What were you saying, Maisie?
I mean, clearly they put it there to mark where they've been, and then in the trailer we see they mark Allie and Ivy's house to show where they're gonna go. So maybe it's like a general, like, just their mark.
Yeah, everybody has an MO, I guess. Killers, burglars, all of them, they have modus operandi, and that smiley face might be their MO. It's pretty cool. Pretty freaky.
I don't know why I can't think of this right this second, but like I saw this TV show or movie or something where like they spray painted on their thing, and then everywhere they spray painted it, it turned out to be like a picture or something, and maybe that could be actually like a hexagon or something. I don't know. But I don't know what I'm thinking of when I say that, but I saw something where they spray painted something on and it made a picture. I don't remember.
Maybe something. Okay.
Do you think we've made them wait long enough for the cult?
Yep. Let's tell them about the contest, and then let's move to shout outs, and let's end the stream.
Okay, guys.
Contest. Listen to Casey.
Every single episode, we are going to give you one cult name. At the end of episode 11, you will have all 11 cult names. Then, after sending all 11 cult names to me on Facebook Messenger, it's down in the description, or to us on Instagram at Cult of AHS. If you send all 11 cult names from each episode, you will be entered into a drawing for American Horror Story Roanoke on DVD or Blu-ray. I think it's just DVD. I'm not sure. And here's why you guys are really going to want to enter this contest. Not only just because you'll be getting American Horror Story Roanoke, but also because if you didn't know, American Horror Story seasons 1 through 5 are being taken off Netflix in October, November, and December, and Roanoke's not coming to Netflix at all. So you're going to want to get your hands on this DVD because you're not going to be able to watch it on Netflix. So yeah, you're really going to want to get that DVD because this is all your only opportunity to watch it, unless you want to buy it yourself. But who wants to do that when you can just enter a competition? This week's cult is, can I get a little drum roll? This week's cult is the People's Temple. Jim Jones was the founder, and I believe this is where the expression "don't drink the Kool-Aid" comes from. Because he basically made them all commit suicide.
By drinking the Kool-Aid.
It wasn't actually Kool-Aid. It was Kool-Aid, but it had like poison in it or something. So all these people joined it. There's like 900 people, and then they all drank it one day, and they all died. So thank you, Jim Jones, for that. Not very nice.
I'm thanking Jim Jones for that. Blow you, Jim Jones. You suck. Okay.
You're a terrible person.
Yes. Going to rot in hell forever. Okay.
And also, people are already sending in their cult of this week. So yeah, as soon as you guys send it in to me, I'll snap you back with a message or a response. So yeah, like the quicker you get them in, it's just easier for me to keep track of them. So yeah, as soon as you hear this, just send me in the cult name, and I'll keep you updated on how many you have. And if you missed the first one, go back to the first episode, and you can hear the name.
Our cult. There's a playlist in my playlists, guys, so you can watch the first episode from the playlist in there. And Demi Farr, Alicia George, and Dawn Ford have activated the level in my Patreon where they are entered twice into every single contest. So those 3 people already have a leg up on you guys by having double entries in this. They don't even have to participate in the contest. They just have to be patrons. They don't have to send Casey anything. They're automatically entered twice. So again, if you want to be a Patreon, link is in the description. Even $1 earns you major rewards. And again, it pays for the prizes, and it pays to keep going in live streaming, updating the audio, the cameras, all of that stuff. So just thank you so much to everybody who's helping. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Well, at least I'll be. Casey and Maisie will be at school. So weekly Wednesday live streams are tomorrow. And let's see. Shout out.
Also, guys, don't forget, if you reach that level on Patreon with Mary's thing, so yeah, go to subscribe to Mary on Patreon. That's great. Not only will you be entered twice, you'll also get all the prizes below that, and there's some pretty cool ones in there. I've looked at it. And not only are you entered in twice, but if you give me all the contest names, that's 3 entries, y'all. 3 entries, 3 chances to win American Horror Story Roanoke on DVD. And you're really gonna want it, because y'all, they're not putting on Netflix anymore. So this is your chance for a free copy. And go support Mary on Patreon, and it'll give you 2 extra chances. So yeah, definitely go do that. And you could have a total of 3 chances to win Roanoke on DVD.
Shout out to Jamario. Shout out to BRT, Alicia George, and Tami Sifford, who are monitoring. Well, Tami, we hope you feel much better, darling. Huge.
Tami's been through a lot this week.
Yes, we want her to feel better. Shout out to Thomas Perry. Shout out to Tony Arlano. Shout out to AJ Wyatt, one of my patrons. AJ, thank you so much. Philip Morgan, shout out to you. Shout out to BRT, he says. Light Yagami 43. Shout out to you. Shout out to John Canoni. Shout out to Oliver Thredson. It's so great to have you in the chat as usual. R2, shout out to you. Can't Shake You Mel, shout out to you. Jonas Bender, Destiny Singleton, Miss Marie, AJ White, oh, AJ again. And Doug Doherty, Got Muggled, and Craig Cass, and Henry Mills Chase. And I think I got everybody. Guys, if I missed any of you, put it into the comments right now. Okay, so we'll be back for Beyond the Cult episode 3 next week, and we'll also be doing the stream through the episode next week as well. So we'll be back for that. Ash vs. Evil Dead streams are Sundays, and weekly Wednesday live streams for American Horror Story are Wednesdays. Stefani wants to know real quick, guys, how do we know that Roanoke is not going to be on Netflix?
Fox has canceled their deal with Netflix. Fox has canceled their deal with Netflix.
Hang on, Casey, you kind of broke up just a little bit.
FX is owned by Fox, which is owned by 20th Century Fox. And yeah, so none of that's coming.
Okay, so guys, you heard it from
And not Fox taking their stuff off. Everyone's taking stuff off. So y'all need to get on this.
a lot of people are removing their stuff from Netflix. Okay. Well, I do own every season of American Horror Story except Roanoke. So you guys don't forget again. And the winner of the international contest for Beyond the Horror gets a $20 gift card. So you can buy whatever you want as long as Amazon is accepted in your country. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week. We love you all so much. And Casey and Maisie, thank you guys so much again for streaming with me. It is always the best to talk about the episodes with you guys.
I enjoyed the episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Night, everyone.